Welcome to Made in Montgomery. I'm Susan Kenedy. In this first story, we visit a company that is making big strides in the fight against cancer.
I think the ultimate goal, obviously, is to help patients and help as many people as we can live longer.
4 years ago, Brian Radecki was ready to start a new chapter in his life. He had retired from his job working for a public company and was working with several startups when he learned about a therapy to help cancer patients that was being developed by NIH scientist Dr. Dan Fowler.
I personally have a long history of cancer in my family. My father died of cancer, so I was very interested. And by the end of the lunch, we said, let's start a company. Let's take, all your life's work and really get it from the bench to the bedside and out to patients.
You see, these are the CD4 cells I was telling you about.
Dr. Dan Fowler spent 27 years at NIH working on immunology trials where they treated hundreds of patients. It was through that work he realized he was ready to take his experience to the next level.
So I had a great deal of confidence that we could take it to the outside of NIH and try to broaden the number of people that we could treat and the number of different diseases that we could treat, applications. And the opportunity arose to do it here locally, which was important to me to build it here in Montgomery County.
Radecki gathered a group of angel investors and started Rappa Therapeutics in September of 2017. Today, they have FDA approval to treat patients with multiple myeloma.
These are my multiple myeloma cells. We can actually look at them like on a TV screen over there.
And the results have been nothing short of amazing. This unique immunology therapy has resulted in a stage 4 patient who is now in complete remission.
Multiple myeloma, Dr. Fowler had extensive research on at NIH and had already done all of the phase 1 work, so we were able to move right into a phase 2 trial. So that was, he was furthest along developing that technology. So we're currently in a phase 2 trial in multiple myeloma right now. Our very first patient went into a stringent complete remission.
Our approach here at Rappa is to use non-genetically engineered T cells. So our manufacturing, we don't insert any genetic material into the cells. We try to use the natural power of the immune system to reprogram itself. So that's one way in which our therapy is a little bit differentiated from what's going on out there.
Work is also underway at Rappa to treat small cell tumors like those that are found in diseases like lung cancer and breast cancer that have stopped responding to other immune therapy that is on the market.
These are the more common tumors that we know are potentially amenable to the patient's own immune system treating it. These are patients who've had a lot of the checkpoint monoclonal antibody therapies. They've already received those treatments. Maybe they responded initially, and within a certain number of months they're back with their disease. Those are the patients we want to accrue onto our study to look at our novel way of treating individuals with those type of tumors, because we've taken the principles of what we're finding in myeloma and applying it to these other types of tumors. So that's in the future going to be hopefully a bigger part of our efforts here at Rappa.
The company is also working on a treatment for ALS as another way to expand their platform. In ALS, the opposite of what happens with cancer occurs, where the immune system is agitated and responding to things it should be quiet against. Rappa has developed technology that provides a new approach to neuroinflammation or other autoimmune diseases.
It's a so-called Treg cell. We were able to develop a cell that has a hybrid function. It can act not only as a Treg cell, but also a Th2 cell. It's another form of immune regulatory cell. So we built a cell that has a bimodal function, so it can attack diseases in a couple different pathways and potentially be very resilient once it's transfused back in the body.
Montgomery County is an amazing place to start a biotech business, because clearly you have NIH, which is the largest funding source for biotech anywhere in the world. And of course you have the best doctors there, including Dr. Fowler. So you're seeing a lot of the technology that's being developed there now being spun out into businesses, and really, again, to get that technology from the bench to the bedside, really getting it into patients.
Dr. Fowler will tell you, even with the success they are seeing, they are capitalizing on every bit of information they have gathered to do even better.
We like to celebrate, we're happy, but then very quickly we get down to reality and figure out what are we going to do with that information, because your work's really never done.
We have so many innovative companies doing some innovative things, like ALS. And for multiple myeloma, I lost my chief of staff as well as my best friend's mother to ALS. These are things that are scourges in our community in which we've been trying for so long to find a cure.
Just so fulfilling to hear after the patients are treated with our product that they are doing really well.
To give people hope, to give people the idea that they might be able to extend their lives.
And for Brian Radecki, the goal is simple but complicated at the same time. It's about helping as many people as they can live healthier, longer lives, keeping in mind those he has lost along the way.
My dad would be so proud, so proud. I think, you know, he really was an amazing man, and, you know, unfortunately his life was cut short by cancer. So, you know, and I have a long history of that in my family. So I think anything that I could do to help people that have gone through that, and, you know, a lot of people know people that have been through, you know, people with cancer, you know, that's really would be for me, you know, the biggest prize.
Next, we take you to a Rockville business where it's always ice cream o'clock.
Thank you very much for meeting with us today and bringing us to your place. Please tell me a little bit about your store.
Carmen's Italian Ice started, we just celebrated our 20th season here.
But how did you begin with this?
I grew up in New Jersey, so we kind of say dessert with a Jersey attitude. That's how it goes. It sometimes gets me in trouble. My wife has to sometimes say, you know, not everything has to have Jersey attitude. And Italian, they call it water ice, where I grew up. It's really popular there. Jersey Shore, we used to spend summers at the Jersey Shore. Italian ice shops, frozen custard shops are really more prevalent. I kind of always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And when it came time for me to actually look at a bunch of different things and what was feasible at the time in my life, this was my option. I'm Jason. I'm the owner. You know where we hand you the orders up in the front window? Do you know where to go?
Yeah, baby.
See you in less than 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay? When I took it over, it was a coffee shop. And when I opened, nobody really cared about Carmen's Italian Ice. They wanted to know if they could get a cup of coffee. I'm all excited. I'm this young entrepreneur saying, let's go. I got Carmen's, and they're like, where's my cup of coffee? So a lot of people thought I was crazy for opening an Italian ice place in Maryland where it wasn't as familiar. And our business grew primarily through transplants. So somebody from New York would find out we had Italian ice that was made in-house by me, and then they would tell somebody else, and then they would tell somebody else. So 2 mangoes and 1 blue.
So Rockville location was always in this spot?
Yes, this is our home base where we run our catering out of as well. We have 2 ice cream trucks, a couple delivery trucks, numerous Italian ice carts. Challenging during COVID, and we had to adapt. That's kind of been our motto the last 2 years. We tell our staff, we tell our customers, you know, we'll figure it out.
So what's the favorite flavor? Probably the flavor of the day.
We do a gelati, which is our specialty. It's layers of frozen custard on the top and bottom with our Italian ice. If you're a rookie here, it's your first time, we'll give you some samples. Hopefully the staff is saying, hey, you never been to Carmen's before? Here's a little taste of vanilla custard, here's a little taste of some mango ice. Put these together in layers, it's gonna wind up looking like this picture over here. All right, I got 2 mangoes, and I got 1 cotton candy coming. I make all the Italian ice here. I'm usually here at this location producing the
So you really didn't
Italian
need a
ice.
house. You could just live right here and make it.
At some points during the summer, yes, for sure. This is my home. People are like, what day are you off? Are we good?
We are good. Thank you so much.
Sure. I'm gonna grab you a couple of napkins.
We've been coming for years. We love it. Really good place for the family to come. Yeah.
We got napkins.
15 years, I prided myself. I'm only closed Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day. And even with the snow, kids would use the park across the street and go sledding. If I could get here, I would get here. And even if it was just me, we'd make up hot chocolate for the kids. We'd have, you know, blue Italian ice or, whatever they needed, just to be that spot for the neighborhood.
This is awfully good.
And finally, a longtime family business that has been connecting the community through music for decades. For For 6 decades, musicians from across the country have come to Victor Litt's Music in Gaithersburg for their musical needs, lessons, and just to jam out. Located on East Diamond Avenue in the heart of Old Town, Victor Litt's Music is in its 60th year.
We started in 1961.
And it's run by second-generation family members Tony Litt and his sister Terry, as well as third-generation family members Logan and his brother Michael.
My father started the business right here in Old Town Gaithersburg, about 10 stores down, next to what was Wolfson's department store, which was the Katz family as well. Victor Litt's Music Center served, for the music lessons and the school band instrument rental stuff, the upper Montgomery County area. There really wasn't anything else from here and north. From here and south, there was certainly stores, but that's what we built the business on for the first 20 years.
We certainly called him by Mr. Litt. Very much, I mean, very nice man. Their store was next to ours, so either they were in their place or we were in their place.
Councilmember Sidney Katz and family have been lifelong friends of the Litt's family. Katz's children even took lessons at Victor Litt's.
One of my brothers, my middle brother, played the clarinet, and he would be in there constantly buying reeds. So, I mean, we would see him pretty much every day.
Founder Victor Litt started the business by giving private music lessons and group lessons to the city of Gaithersburg.
My father was Victor Litt. He was apparently the Washington metropolitan area's first electric guitar player. He played in a polka band in Rockville, and he borrowed $300 and bought Troy's music, and here we are today.
Victor Litt's, the quality piano discounter, is ringing in the new year.
In the 1980s, Terry and Tony took over the reins.
Custom artwork by this local customer.
And implemented a mail order business that allowed them to increase their volume.
We did real well with it. We expanded into many major franchises, and then buy, sell, trade. It's huge right now. And you'll see some of the really expensive products we have is used gear and vintage gear, up to $75,000 guitars.
Tony says the reputation the family has built over the past 60 years is something he is very proud of.
And it's always high quality, great stuff, and it's right down the street. And
as the community has grown, so has the business.
What is it?
It's a snare drum.
Oh, is this for yourself, or who's this for?
For my son, 10-year-old son. He's always wanted to play drums, so he's very excited.
They teach music lessons on site and virtually.
And we now have a full record store in here. It's all used.
And they recently bought out a used record store that's on display in their showroom.
Probably the big thing for us in Montgomery County is the lessons and the rental business, the educational stuff that goes through, 4th and 5th graders start music, and then we get to get them in, they get exposed to the store. There's certainly enough people here to keep this business going. There's so many families, and it's as it's known to be so diverse.
And the COVID-19 pandemic didn't keep Victor Litt's from serving the community. With innovative thinking, they were able to keep the business running like a fine-tuned piano.
We got up and said, that's it, we're going back to work. I called everyone and said, we have X amount of money in the bank account, and I'll pay everybody full-time, and we're just going to ride it out and see what takes place. And if it comes to an end, it does, but we're not going to give up.
We currently have a whole lot of bass guitars in store, an insurmountable quantity of bass guitars.
Did an awful lot of promotions. We did the curb service, we did home delivery service, and switched our music lessons really quickly to online. Prior to it, didn't really have a big online presence there, but now it's all virtual. If you can dream it, they have invented it. Cowboy style, if you will.
Tony Litt says they have been very fortunate, not only during the pandemic, but over the entire course of the store's existence. He and his sister consider their customers and staff family and are optimistic that Victor Litt's will be connecting the community with music for the next 60 years.
Did you get what you needed?
I did, thank you.
Have a good day.
I'm getting what I needed here for almost 40 years.
Wow.
We love music, and the family certainly loves music, and we encourage the music for everyone. Personally, I'm just a workaholic. I really enjoy every bit of it.
Well, that does it for this edition of Made in Montgomery. For County Cable Montgomery, I'm Susan Kenedy.